Hello, everyone, and welcome aboard to Animal Advocates Radio, Voices Carry for Animals, number 504 shows counting this evening. I want to welcome all you new listeners aboard, and I hope you enjoy the show. Keep coming back and spreading the word because from all angles, these animals need our help and help them to get better lives and futures out there because there's so much animal cruelty going on out there. It's disgusting. And it's totally uncalled for, totally unacceptable, and we're their only hope to carry on, okay? I just want to go over a couple of things here before we do get started. My name is Debbie Dahmer, aka Mama Bear. And Mama Bear is on the air because she really does care, okay? So we're going to be rocking the airways for Lucy the elephant this evening. She is awesome. She's been in this Edmonton Valley Zoo for over 48 years. Okay, this is totally unacceptable. I mean, and she's not in good health at all. And we can't give up here because it's our only hope, and we got to, keep fighting because that's the main thing is to don't give up because, quitters never win and winners never quit. Okay. And I'm waiting for Marianne Holm to come in. Marianne, if you can hear me, go to the Podbean app on your phone or laptop, wherever you downloaded it, and press that link. There should be, all the followers should have a notification on their phones or laptops, tablets, iPads that the show's starting up. Click to join, and you will be in the live chat room, okay? And all you listeners on the Podbean Podcast web, welcome aboard. And I hope you enjoy the show. You can listen to this show live stream from Podbean Podcast web or the app. Okay. So if you're calling or if you're listening from the web, you could join us here in the chat room, but you're going to have to do a few simple steps and you're going to have to go to either Google Play or the App Store and then download Podbean Podcast app and player. And then what you're going to do is follow Voices Carry for Animals podcast, and you're in on the web, okay? And this is going to be another great show. Welcome aboard, Marilyn Glazer. She's also a part of L.E.A.P, and it's and Lucy's Advocates project. Oh my God, I gotta get this all messed up here. We got Lucy's Edmonton Advocacy project, and it's great to have you in here. I'm trying to locate Marianne, but Marianne also, all you followers will, like I said, get a notification on your phone that the show is starting up, or you can go and if you're a follower, you could go to the Podbean podcast app. It's a green and black icon, and you could go from there, and then go to the live icon and everything, and you all the shows that's listed right now are that's on air will be on there. Okay, so you can always do that. But anyway, I'm looking. Oh, I believe she came in, but I just want to go over a couple things here again. These live shows are archived. Okay, so you can go and listen 24/7. And share, okay? And keep liking the show because that helps build the show up. You could share from this we're in the live chat room up in the upper right hand corner to other social media sites and everything. It's awesome. So I will be taking callers later on in the show. And so just kind of be patient, just trying to save from any noises in the background, radios, TVs, and conversations. And you're more than welcome to come on board, okay? And like I said, all shows are archived. So if you want to listen later or tomorrow and keep passing it, because that's what I tell them. Hello, Yvonne. She was a former guest also on for Lucy the elephant, and also Mama Cat's in the house, former guest for the Community Cats United. Hey, Mama Cat, and we're having another great show this evening. We're the animals' only hope. To carry on, because if we don't fight for them, we automatically lose, and the problems get worse. Okay, so but I'm going to go ahead and, like I said, after this show is downloaded and then published or edited and published, then we're going to it's going to go out to a total of 30 podcast platforms, okay? And this is a great thing. Two YouTube channels, two websites, uh, 25 other podcast websites on their platforms, and all these shows from Animal Advocates Radio are on there. So you can go visit them. And the Podbean Podcast web, you can start up an account, and it's a free account. Go to log in up on the right hand corner of podbean.com, log in, and then what you're going to do is create account, and then you'll need your full name or nickname, and then your email address, and also a password, and then click You're Not a Robot. It's just some simple steps, and then create account. And on my host website, there's all the shows also on there that you can listen and share. And also on podserve.fm. That's Animal Advocates Radio. You can go there and follow and create an account, and all the shows on there also. So there is a total, all this Podbean podcast has really exploded. I look at Blog Talk Radio, and I'm just wow. I am like, this is phenomenal how this thing is exploded. Because when I was on Marty Oakley TS Radio Network, it was doing great then on Blog Talk, but now it has skyrocketed. I wish she could be here to see this. I mean, she passed away April 1st of 2023, and may she rest in peace. And miss her, a super friend, a great advocate, and I'm going to keep going. I have a tribute to for her on my website, voicescarryforanimals.com, and it says rest in peace, Marty Oakley. And also I have one on the Podbean podcast host site, because I'll never forget her as long as I live. We're up to 504 shows, and this is just wonderful. I mean, we're going to keep going, so we're not going to give up. That's our goal, is to see these victories. But I'm going to bring in Mary Ann Holm, and this is great that she's back. She don't give up. She is relentless, okay, and will not give up. And I'm so glad. And a big shout out to her supporters out there, because they mean. I mean, you look at it and how hard they're trying for many years. The topic is going to be update on Lucy the elephant mandate request to a sanctuary from the Edmonton Valley Zoo. Okay, so I see Barbara came in. Hey, Barbara, check it out. Welcome. Hey, welcome back. I'm glad to see you in there. And Aloha's in. We're all coming in the chat room. And this chat room is awesome, everybody. Just check it out. You can't, you won't regret it. Okay. But hey, Barb, she always calls me Debs, another animal warrior sister. But anyway, that's what we're going to be discussing this night. And also, there was a quicken. Hey, thanks for following me. Also, follow me if you're new to this. Follow me on the podcast, on the app, or in the web, because the more followers, I'm looking for 100,000 followers. Okay, I know we can do it. But anyway, I'm going to bring in Mary Ann Holm. And Mary Ann, can you go ahead and send me on the bottom right hand of your phone, or either there's a phone icon or a mic icon, just press it to alert me you won't come on air, and I'll bring you on air. Okay, looks like you're in, you did it, and we'll go from there. Okay, but it's the lower right hand corner of your phone. Phone icon, or whatever you're using, a laptop, iPad, tablet, and just press it, and I will bring you in. Okay, you there?
I think I'm
Hello?
there. Hello?
Yeah, is this Marianne?
Yes.
Hey, how are you, Marianne? Welcome back. You did it. This
I
is
did
great.
it. One of these days I'll learn and be right on top of it.
We're still all kind of newbies at this. It's been going on 8 months on Podbean. I had to learn the web and the app. So it
Yep.
wasn't no walk in the park like Blog Talk was. But I do like this a lot better than Blog Talk. So, but anyway, Marianne, she's the president and campaign coordinator at Lucy's Edmonton Advocates Project. In other words, LEAP. Okay, and we'll further in the show, Marianne. I'd like to get on the documentary too. Okay, about
Yes.
Lucy's. Yes, and I did put it on my website. And after the show, I'm going to add the links. Okay, to all of it, so you'll see it. Okay, and we'll go from there. I have to publish it first because you can't put links in before it's published. Okay, so I'll get all that in there. But anyway, go ahead and refresh the audience. How you got started, some about Lucy, and because it's so sad what's going on with her. It's just ongoing. I mean, what, over 48 years in that zoo? Oh,
Yes. It's a travesty, Debbie. And thank you for all the support you've given us over the years. So, yes, as you said, Lucy has been confined here in Canada at the Edmonton Valley Zoo since she was 2 years old. So she's 50 now, and that's 48 years living in a climate that no elephant should be expected to live. I mean, it gets to -30 here for many months of the year in the winter. And at least during summer months, she gets outside, but many weeks out of the winter years, she's confined in this tiny little 2,000 square foot barn with no windows and only a zookeeper there, sort of controlling her every move. So we have been fighting LEAP. I formed LEAP in 2015, and we've been fighting all these years to try to get the management of the city of Edmonton and the Edmonton City Council and Mayor to release Lucy to sanctuary. And luckily, we have a sanctuary willing to take her. We have funds available to move her. What the issue is they won't let her go. And so they make excuses. And of course, Edmonton Zoo is not the only zoo that does this, but there are excuses made that it would be too difficult for Lucy to adapt to a sanctuary after all these years, and that Lucy's health is poor, and she might not survive the trip to sanctuary. But it's kind of, they're hypocritical because they say her health is poor, but then when we're questioning them about, her various ailments, and she has many, suddenly she's as healthy as can be. So it depends on what question you're asking them as to what answer that they provide. So the biggest thing about Lucy being here, aside from climate, is that she's all alone. And I'm sure most of your listeners and most people understand that elephants are herd animals and they stay in those herds for their entire lives with their grandmothers, with their mothers, aunts, sisters, and they never ever stray apart. They stay together forever. And unfortunately, the Edmonton Zoo placed an order for a baby elephant, and an unscrupulous wildlife broker went out and got himself a baby elephant. We don't know how, but we do know that oftentimes members of the herd were culled in order to grab that baby, because a mother elephant would fight with her life to cling to her baby and not let someone take it. So the zoo tries to claim that they saved an orphaned elephant, but in fact, what they likely did was created an orphan, by grabbing her. So here was this little baby elephant that should have been nursing for her from her mother for at least another 4 years or so, stripped away, stuck on a plane, shipped to the other side of the world. She originated in the wild in Sri Lanka and has been at Edmonton since she was 2 years old. And she, like every zoo elephant, suffers from a number of captivity related conditions that don't exist in wild elephant populations and only exist in the sanctuary with the elephants that have been saved from the zoo, from zoos. So things like arthritis and foot disease, and both of those are caused from a lack of exercise, standing on hard concrete substrates, not being able to walk on soft earth that elephants are supposed to be on. And then she also suffers from zoocosis, which we also call stereotypy, which is the repetitive movements swaying and rocking back and forth, which is a sign of mental duress. The elephant is not stimulated, is bored and lonely, and uh, in a way to soothe themselves, they sit and rock and sway. So we've got videos of Lucy doing that, and you can hear the people in the audience going, "Oh, look, she's dancing." And zoos will try to claim that that's what that is, that they're dancing, and it's just ridiculous. They're going out of their mind. So Lucy has both arthritis and foot disease, which is responsible for 50% of the premature deaths of zoo elephants, just those two conditions alone. And she also has abnormal teeth due to a poor diet. She has digestive issues, and the zoo claims she has a breathing issue. And that is what they use. That is what they pin their hat on to say that Lucy would be at risk if she's moved. And what the issue is has not been diagnosed. All we know is that she breathes through her mouth more than she breathes through her trunk, which is abnormal for an elephant, but her oxygen levels are okay. So it really doesn't matter. Um, if I have a plugged nose, but I want to go traveling, I don't say, "Oh, I can't go anywhere because I have a blockage in my nose and have to breathe through my mouth." I just breathe through my mouth. And that's what Lucy does. But they use that as an excuse to not move her. And yet we've discovered that the enclosure that she lives in is actually probably contributing to her breathing problem. We found out that they were putting silica sand in there, and silica dust is damaging to the respiratory system. We found out that her air filtration system in her barn was faulty, and that was reported, and it took them 3 years to replace that air filtration system. And they just did that this spring after 3 years of knowing there was a problem with it. So it's pretty ridiculous that they use breathing as an excuse, because if they were that worried about it, they wouldn't have subjected her to poor air filtration, to the silica sand, etc. And elephant species experts have also opined that climate in Edmonton could be contributing to her breathing difficulties as well. The cold and dry air is so unnatural for an elephant that that probably has a contributing factor. So this poor girl has suffered for so long, and so many people, not just Leap, other animal groups worldwide have spoken out for her in defense of animals, has been very active. We've had PETA helping us, and just a number of elephant advocacy groups have stepped up, including the Global Sanctuary for Elephants and Elephant Nature Park and the Save Elephant Foundation in Thailand. She has so much worldwide support. People will be asked. I remember once the superstar Cher, who had worked on saving another elephant named Kavan, put out a tweet asking who they thought was the most needed elephant for rescue. And it was just unbelievable. It was Lucy by a landslide from the people on Twitter. And they did try to help. Her organization, Free the Wild, did bring in some international experts to examine Lucy, but the zoo pulled a few last minute tricks to get an extra vet in that would be on their side to skew the results. So even though we had two sanctuary experts stating Lucy needed to be relocated and could be relocated safely, they had two zoo vets that said otherwise. So they convinced city council that, that confirmed what they've been saying all these years. And it's just been so frustrating. And even Free the Wild admitted after the fact that the zoo pulled a fast one and tried to reach out to city council. And unfortunately, nothing has come of that. So very, very, very frustrating and really just heartbreaking. I mean, I have nightmares about it. I think about this elephant all day long. And I've been doing this since about 2011, even before I started Leap. So, and not just me. I mean, I'm not the only one that fights this battle. We have a great team at Leap. We have Marilyn Glazer, we have Sam Wincup, we have a couple of new admins, Mina Jackson and Thinley Choden, who have joined us. We have Laura Wilson and just all of our supporters who write letters, who phone, who do everything they can, share on social media. And here we sit all these years later, and this poor elephant has not left, unfortunately.
Mm, this is so sad because I know we have had so many shows on her and will not stop, Marianne. And thanks to all your super team out there, what you're doing because you're not giving up on her. And we got to keep fighting until we win.
Yes,
They're forced to go in these animals in captivity, just zoos and circuses. They are forced. They have no choice in the matter. They have no life. It's prison. They're unhappy. They all deserve so much better, right? I mean, it's sickening. It's like let them live
it
out in
is
the
sickening.
free.
They're they're
Yes.
killing they're killing this poor elephant slowly and agonizingly, and it's disgusting. We've had a couple of bright spots in the past year, as you alluded to, a brand new documentary that was aired earlier in the year, and that was about it's called Lucy: The Stolen Lives of Elephants, and it features Lucy heavily in the documentary, but also just talks about, in general, elephant captivity for all elephants and why it's wrong. And there's some disturbing undercover footage in the movie that shows the training, the brutal training methods that they use with bull hooks, etc., to make those elephants afraid and compliant with their zookeepers. And then they show the contrast of what life could be like at a sanctuary and the difference between an elephant in a zoo, life expectancy wise, but also quality of life wise. And unfortunately, we're still waiting for international release of that documentary. So right now, it's only available in Canada, um, and it's free for any Canadian listeners there to go to the CBC GEM site, and you can stream it at any time. But it's a full length film, and it's won some awards, and it's getting quite a bit of recognition here in this country. But we really are anxious to see it break through in the States. And I know that the filmmaker is trying to reach out to various distributors like Netflix and Prime, etc. But it's competitive, and they're working to try and get it a wider audience for the film. So that was one thing, and another bright spot. And we have to really look for these bright spots because, to be honest, there hasn't been many. But we just had our civic election in Edmonton, and so that means, and I hate to say it, but this is my third round. Elections are every 4 years, and here I am, third time around, and we have a new mayor, which is exciting. He was my city councilor for the last 8 years, and he was about the only one on city council that was responsive to, my concerns about Lucy. And he did help get the vets in that Free the Wild had offered to bring in, and so he was helpful with that. So we were hoping against hope that he would be elected mayor, and he was. So that's a bright spot. And also, there was an election for all of city council. So we have four brand new city councilors. So there's some hope. New faces bring new hope. And of course, we will do everything we can to approach the new councilors and try and get them on board, because what we need is a majority of city council. There's 13, and we need a majority to vote in favor of releasing Lucy to sanctuary. So, we've got two or three right now. And so, if we can get these others on board, that gives us a bit of hope for the future. So that's about what's going on around here. Not much else, unfortunately, has progressed for Lucy, but we continue to try. And as more people see the film, it's very powerful. And we're going to reach out once council is situated and try to convince them to watch the film. We invited them to the screening, and it was so disappointing that not a single one of them showed up when we screened the film. But we will continue to push that, because it's pretty hard to watch that film and not walk away realizing that elephant captivity is wrong. And we would really like them to see that. So we will continue to push that. And we're also going to put out a call to action on our L.E.A.P page. Once we get the new contact information for the new counselors, we will be putting out a call to action for all our members across the globe to send emails to the new city, to all city councilors, including the new ones. So that's our upcoming plans for the campaign. Um, but I did also want to touch on another topic that doesn't just isn't just about Lucy, but about zoos in general, and the unscrupulous ways that they work to try and manipulate governments and the public into thinking that they're doing a really good thing. People, many believe that zoos are educational, zoos bring people um, to have more interest in the captive animals, and therefore will be more prone to speak out on their behalf or and protect, example, elephants in the wild. And zoos feel like they're using the animals that I call inmates as ambassadors to the public, so that they'll care about what happens to elephants in Africa or elephants in Asia. And that's really a nice thought, but in practice, it doesn't really happen. We know from studies that people who visit zoos will stop in I hate using the word exhibit, but an animal exhibit, and spend maybe 20 seconds there, 30 seconds. They may or may not read the signs, and then off they go to the next one. And it's really treated as an outing for the family, for the children. And there's not that many people walking out of zoos going, geez, I got to give my all to help wild elephants or wild chimpanzees or whatever animal they saw. So it's misleading. And why should animals be taken from the wild, their natural home, to sit there on display for supposed educational reasons? People have an opportunity now to learn about wild animals. Children have an opportunity. There are new things popping up in Canada. On the other side of Canada, there is a new virtual zoo where they are showing animals in holographic form, 3D, where kids can go in and see these animals in a 3D format and learn about the animals that way. There are documentaries, there are live cams. The elephant sanctuaries have cameras. Anyone can go at any given time and observe what the elephants are doing. There's Africam. You can look at the elephants in Africa where they film them near the watering holes where all the animals, not just elephants, come and interact. And that's another way that children can learn. They don't need to go and look at an animal in a zoo because they're not seeing the animal. They're seeing, and this is a quote from a famous elephant rescuer who said, what you're seeing when you're seeing an elephant in a zoo, you're not seeing an elephant, you're seeing a tragedy. And that's what it is, because I've seen a number of wild elephants, I've seen a number of sanctuary elephants, and they don't behave like Lucy. Lucy is a sad and withdrawn elephant. She stands there just sort of blankly staring. She moves at a snail's pace. She limps when she moves. She just looks so unhappy. A happy elephant is loud and boisterous, trumpeting, ears back, trunks up, and really excited. And I've been lucky to see that. But Lucy is not that. She makes no sounds. Her trunk is down, and you just have to look in her eyes, and it's pretty obvious how depressed and withdrawn she is.
It's so sad and heartbreaking what she's going through, and after all these years, Marianne, it's totally unacceptable. We need freedom for her. I mean, well, she just turned 50 this year, and 50 years ago she was born, but she's not. With all the arthritis and the feet and everything. I mean, how much more can she take? They want to
It's
be out there socializing and being with their families like we do. It's not needed. It's not needed to have these zoos and circuses. Let them run free. It's sickening how they're living.
I'm
All of them.
amazed she is still living, to be quite honest, with all the health issues she's had.
Mm,
Zoo elephants often don't even live until 50, so she's made that milestone, but I wouldn't call it living. She's been
no,
existing,
no,
all
no.
these times. And yet elephants, the zoo will lie. The zoo has convinced the people here that Lucy is a geriatric elephant. And yet I met an elephant that was in their 90s. So they can live as long as humans, but people don't look into that. They don't research the other side. The zoo says, oh, she's an elderly geriatric elephant. So then people that support the zoo will tell people like me, well, she's an old elephant. She's a geriatric elephant. Leave her alone. She won't survive the move. And even though she's been here for 50 years, she is still a wild animal and she has those wild animal instincts inbred into her. So, you give her an opportunity to be a true elephant, and I bet you we would see all those normal behaviors surface yet again because they're in there. They're just quashed. The veterinarians that examined her were stunned, the ones from the sanctuary situation, as to how controlled Lucy's life is. She doesn't even sometimes want to go outside when the door is open. She just stands inside her barn, and they even control where she goes to the bathroom. They don't want to have to clean up after her, so they've trained her to go to the washroom over a drain.
Mm,
And so something that simple, she can't even make a decision about. And when she's out walking, she's got two zookeepers on either side of her with bull hooks, and they control her moves. So she'll see a tree and she wants to go to that tree because that's what elephants do. They like to rip branches off. She's not allowed to do that. She's stuck on the pathway that they designate for her so that they can wind her around so people can see her instead of, letting her have some freedom. She has absolutely no freedom, and it is just as bad as being in solitary confinement as a prisoner, except the difference is human prisoners committed a crime. And Lucy didn't commit any crime, but being a beautiful, majestic animal that people want to see.
Yes, and I look at this and I'm like, well, what she's going through. We need some more compassion in this world. Mercy, sympathy. She's not. She's a living human animal. Breathe, sleep, walk. Eat everything. They got to have the rights, animal rights granted, not violated. And that's sad. And I want to bring up Nosy the elephant. She, with Barbara Levette, I was trying to get a hold of her. I did get a hold of her. She was going to try to come in, but Save Nosy Now. We have many shows on Nosy the elephant, and Nosy is so happy now in the Tennessee sanctuary. I mean, and she fought and all the supporters, and she's got her own law in New Jersey, Nosy's law, where they can't put wild animals in circuses. This needs to be nationwide, even worldwide. Get them out of there, And Lucy, I'm sorry, Nosy looks so happy in these videos and socializing, elephant friends, It's so heartwarming. Marianne, and I said, and thank you, Barbara Levette, for all you're doing. If you're listening in or have done, and you're still out there fighting, for elephants and everything. So keep it up. That's the main thing because Nosy was miserable too, and just like Billy and Tina. I mean, there's a list of them. Let them go free. Let them enjoy their freedom because we're all on this earth temporarily. So we got to make the best of it. Not living in prison. That's what it is. Animal slavery, and that's when greed again pops up. It's
Yes,
sickening.
it's
Greed
all about
all the
money.
way. Yep,
Yeah,
yep, and it's
and
sickening.
I agree with you. Nosy gives us all hope, and it was a glorious day when that elephant was rescued and sent to sanctuary. But we don't have many of those days, and I hope that day will come for Lucy. You brought up Billy and Tina, and so I just wanted to briefly talk about that. And I'm sure you're aware, Debbie, but Billy and Tina were elephants at the Los Angeles Zoo. Billy is a male elephant. Has a very similar story to Lucy, taken from the wild, brought over when he was little. And because he was a male and the other elephants at the time at the zoo were females, he was kept solitary away from the females. And then, unfortunately, Tina had a couple of elephant companions, females, that passed away. So then they were left with one male and one female, both segregated and kept alone. So the Los Angeles Zoo felt that, well, not just them, but that's a violation to keep an elephant alone or even in a group of two violates zoo standards. So the American Zoological Association told the Los Angeles Zoo that they can't keep only two elephants. It violates the rules. So instead of sending them to sanctuary, which many people in Los Angeles were pushing, which one city councilor was pushing really hard for, and celebrities like Cher, lawyers, etc., were all pushing for them to go to sanctuary and they would have had a home. And then the city councilor Blumenthal made a motion and he wanted to have all options for Tina and Billy brought before council so that they could, review them and determine what would be the best outcome for these two elephants. And this is what I mean when I talk about how deceptive zoos are. They waited until the middle of the night and they transported Billy and Tina to the Tulsa Zoo without anyone knowing. And then the next day or two, people were calling and asking about Billy and Tina, and they were told, "Oh, come into the zoo, buy a ticket, you can come and see them." And they weren't even there. They were already in Tulsa. And they didn't publicly announce the move to Tulsa until they were there. So they completely ignored the motion from city council and they moved them anyways. And so Elephant Guardians of Los Angeles, who were the group fighting for Billy and Tina, um, went and they make trips to Tulsa to check on the condition of Billy and Tina. And it's just heartbreaking. They tell me that they are both stereotyping. They're rocking and swaying back and forth, even though there is other elephants there, and which was supposedly the reason they sent them. They are withdrawn and have appeared to have even deteriorated since they've been moved to Tulsa. And they continue to try to fight uh, for them, even from Los Angeles. Um, but it's now even a tougher battle. They used to demonstrate outside the zoo all the time and had celebrities coming out and demonstrating, and now here they are in Tulsa and doing poorly. So, this is how zoos operate, and it's disgusting. There was a couple of elephants in Oregon in their zoo, and they were, under the same situation. They decided they didn't want to keep the elephants anymore, and advocates pushed for them to go to sanctuary, and instead they shipped them to Oklahoma and then continued to artificially inseminate the one female over 100 times in an attempt to produce a baby. And it was unsuccessful, thankfully. Um, but those elephants ended up passing away and never knowing sanctuary. When the sanctuary was right there, there was a opportunity. They were moving the elephants anyways. Why couldn't they move them to sanctuary? But zoos stick together. It's all a big conspiracy. And the zoo associations, who people believe look out for the well being of animals in zoos, are complicit, and they push. And even here in Canada, when on the other side of Canada, the Toronto Zoo decided to close their elephant exhibit and they made the right decision to send them to sanctuary, there was such an outcry from the zoo supporters. And regardless, the zoo supporters didn't win. And those three elephants thankfully made it to the sanctuary in California. But right after that happened, the Zoological Association stripped their accreditation because they moved the elephants to sanctuary and not to another zoo. So it is just so it makes a person so angry. And do these people not have souls? Do they not possess any compassion for these animals? I guess not. I don't know what else to think, but I guess not.
Mm, it's terrible. And I just with Kirsten Cluster, I just had a show with her weeks ago over them. A great show, Billy and Tina, and it
Yeah,
was so wrong what they did to them just in the middle of the night, and they're you could tell they're unhappy. They need to be released too.
yeah,
So we got to get louder and make some noise, everyone, because we are strength in numbers, power in numbers.
that's
And
for
please,
sure. And Kirsten, worked her butt off to help those elephants, just like Barbara did with Nosy. What I'm doing, but again, we don't do it alone. We do it with a team, a group of us, and then the whole elephant community, which is an amazing community. We all fight for them. And, sometimes, most times we're not winning the battles, but we can't give up. Giving up is not an option.
no,
Thank
no, can't give up. If we give up, we automatically lose, and we don't want that to happen. Give up
no.
that fight because we have to be tough. We have to work together. Strong teamwork is the key. Strong leaders and strong supporters leads to strong victories, and then we can do the victory dance. I remember when Nosy, I think it was back in 2019 when she got released to sanctuary and her new law and everything. I seen it going through Facebook news feed, man. I had happy tears coming out of my eyes, because it's like, wow, she's going to be free. And I want to do the same with Billy and Tina, and Lucy, all of them. And that's what
Oh,
we got to do. We have to keep that fight up. We're not in here to be spinning our wheels because we're not. I see so many victories come through, and I can't take credit, but I am involved, or whether I'm not involved, you see him coming through, and that's proof right there that teamwork rocks and teamwork wins, okay? And it takes a lot. It takes a village, but we can do it, everyone. Give Marianne and Leap your support because I know Marianne in January the 10th of 2026, and I want to bring this up, everyone. Please visit Vigil for Elephants on Facebook, okay? Because there's going to be a candlelight and another good show, and I'll be sending all of you an invitation in December, okay, for January the 8th, because that's when I'll be coming back from the Christmas and New Year's break and have you all back on, because I've been, what, 5 years now? It could be six. But please join us and spread the word, everyone, because it's a very meaningful show coming back in January, the 10th. That's the main one. And if you could join us, spread the word, all the animals that have died in 2025, and light a candle for them and get involved and listen to these shows. They're very informative, bringing awareness, and so you know what's going on behind closed doors, okay? uh, Behind the scenes, and you're not going to like it. So we have to do it. We have to come together and do this. Because we can't be sitting here year after year and decade after decade and the same old story. Okay, the same old horrific stories, the sadness, the abuse, the neglect. No, we have to do something because time keeps going. And the longer we see the victories come in, the longer the animal suffers. So now we got to get loud. The louder we bark, the more we're heard. Okay, do it professionally, peaceful and respect. That's where we get somewhere. I found that out. So but Lucy, they all deserve better, every one of them, and they're not getting that. So, whatever you could do, share on social media. I have a on X. I'm on there, and I have a whole tab full of ones I tag. Every Thursday or any other post that I have, because not everybody is on social media same time and days. Okay, on Facebook or LinkedIn or any of them. So luckily, these shows are archives. You can listen and share 24/7. So I get notifications, hey, all during the weekend, which is fine. They're listening or they're wanting to do something. How you could help out. Bringing awareness and information. Because that's what it takes. If we look the other way, the problems get worse. We can't have that, right,
No,
Marianne? We cannot have that.
no, we can't. And shows like yours and media involvement is really needed. So if any listeners are out there and have connections with other media outlets, other podcasts, other celebrities. The more people we can bring in and get the word out, that's what needs to happen. And I'm so grateful to you, Debbie, for being such a wonderful advocate for all animals. But in particular, you've certainly been stepped up to the plate for Lucy, and we're so grateful, and for your help with all the other elephants as well.
Hey, you're so welcome, and I'm here. I do my best. I can't do it alone. It takes teamwork all the way. I mean, I'm a one woman operation here. I produce it, I host it, I schedule it. And the only thing I need help with is promoting it. Okay, and I get plenty of that. And I thank all you out there that's helping me every Thursday with these shows. I mean, for a long time, Marianne, this has been going on, you know. And I appreciate all of you for the Facebook friends and followers that's involved, and the pages on Facebook that I admin on, and also on X, where I have Voices Carry for Animals podcast from there, and my personal page on X, LinkedIn. There's a list here, that helps me out. And it inspires me to keep going, when I share, retweet, share, and that
Yeah.
can cure, and it is awesome. So, and thanks, Darla, for that compliment. A Wonder Woman on Podbean. I hope you call it Darla. Yeah, she's what
Darla
I.
is one of our very dedicated Lucy supporters.
Yes,
And she supports a lot of things, but I see her regularly, on our Leap page, and we thank Darla for the support that she's given us over
yes, isn't it
the
Yes,
last
and
wonderful?
few
I'm
years.
I'm jumping in if that is okay. This is Marilyn.
Hey,
Oh, hi,
Marilyn,
Marilyn.
hello. How are you?
I'm
Yes, of
doing
course.
well. I'm doing
Yes.
well. I hope both of you are. And just a couple things I thought I would mention before we sign off. Number one, Marianne really is our boots on the ground in Edmonton. I am down in Tennessee, and the best thing that we can do, all of us in other parts of the world, is follow Leap on social media, because that is where the calls for action occur, whether it is if we have a fundraiser to send in $5 or whatever you're able to do, and to write letters. We do post calls to action about writing letters and sending automated letters. Some are just for local Edmontonians, but a lot are for us, because we want to, pressure the Edmonton political scene and zoo scene that, this is just not cool. It has been way too long. And nowadays, everything, as we all know, especially here in the States, it's everything is politics. So we are really hopeful, once, like Marianne said, once the mayor and city council get settled in and we get their addresses, then we will post a call to action, and seeing letters and correspondence from all over the world hopefully will have some effect on this new group of elected officials. We have, there are, like Marianne said, supporters all over the world. And Lucy has a great friend in New Zealand, Andrea, who writes regularly. And the zoo director does usually 9.5 times out of 10, he will respond back to her. Now, it may be what do you call it? A uniform type letter, but so we have people all over the world who are helping and can continue to help. We just have to stay on it, and keep the pressure on as best as we can. Because yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy, but we just keep doing it. And Debbie, yeah, you are the social queen for animal welfare. So we really appreciate your work with, to help
Well,
Lucy
thank you.
and
You
Billy
know,
and Tina. And, that was really underhanded what the LA Zoo did in the middle of the night, transferring those poor elephants. And it's a different setting, but the same old song and dance for Billy and Tina, stereo typical behavior in Los Angeles. And now they do the same thing in Tulsa. It's just an endless saga, that goes on with these elephants. And in this day and age, there are new and creative ways, like Marianne said, of holographic, displays and
yes,
robotic displays. And you can still get the feel for how massive, an elephant is by not really having a live elephant. Let them live their own lives,
that's
same as
right.
us.
In freedom and
Yes,
peace, comfortable. That
exactly.
means, free from anxiety and fear. That's our goals. There's no way for them to live at all. At
Exactly.
all. And we don't need them to be. Cut this profit before animals out, because it's not giving them a chance. They're taking the money to ching before them, and don't care how they feel or what they're doing, or how long they live. So we have to keep fighting, everyone, because that's what it takes. And Marilyn, could you tell the audience what you do for Leap?
Well, I am one of the admins for Leap, and I have been helping the team. I've kind of lost track of how many years, but not as long, of course, as Marianne and Sam. But it was well before COVID. And I'm just one of Lucy's advocates who, I try to help spread the word, keep organized, help with fundraisers, write letters, that sort of thing. So that has been, I've enjoyed being a support person and trying to get the word out, to the to other people around the world. And I am also hoping and working on trying to get the documentary here in Memphis, The Stolen Life of Lucy. So I will be letting everybody know, and hopefully it will be able to circulate the states a little more. I don't know if we mentioned or not, but there was a showing in Los Angeles about
Oh,
six
right.
weeks
Yeah.
ago. Yeah, and I think they had a very nice turnout. So the more cities, we can get to, of course, the better.
Yes, yes, definitely. And I wonder, yeah, because I brought that up because it's so important. That's a documentary that everybody needs to see, okay, and to share it and bring it awareness and the truth and reality of it all. No sugarcoating it, no looking the other way. We have to help her. I mean, whoa, she's been in there way too long. Enough is enough. And I hope this mayor and the new counselor that they take action and get her released. That's the main thing. And it's an award-winning documentary. Thanks, Yvonne. And Yvonne, that's a former guest for Lucy I had on, and we stay in contact. I've made so many from these shows working together. I keep in contact with them because the more exposure, the better. Everyone, the more shows and more how they come back. When you come through Voices Carry for Animals podcast, you are now part of the family. They're the Voices Carry for Animals family, and always welcome back. And all these great guests and callers and all the listeners that's listening in. Thank you all so much. And Marilyn, thank you for all you're doing too. You're amazing, and the whole supporters of Elite is out there. And Marianne, outstanding job to you too. And we keep inspiring each other, and that's what it takes. Is teamwork. We inspire each other to keep going. Don't give up. Don't disappear. Don't look the other way because the fight is on, and we will
Exactly.
do it. So yeah,
I
and I'm
also just want to give a quick shout out and thank you to Marilyn, and as well Yvonne Hooper, who
yes,
works tirelessly. She's in the UK, but she works tirelessly for Lucy,
Yes.
and just it's just so amazing. And one thing that Marilyn brought up that I'd like to just mention to people is if you think that you have um, the possibility, especially if you live in a city that has elephants in your zoo, we can arrange, we can help connect you with the filmmaker, and you could do your own screening in your own city, and we would provide you support and the connections to do so, which is what Marilyn is working on right now for Memphis, and just so grateful for her doing that. So, and I do think that eventually the film will make its way across the pond, and maybe one day that'll be an option for you as well, Yvonne. But thank you both for all your work for Lucy, and of course Debbie.
yes. Hey, we got a super team going on here. I don't know if when I posted on Vigil for Elephants and they responded, I put that in there every time. Super team. I love that. It shows. It's not. It's like how you work together and share and keep the fight going. Letting your voices be heard because that's what it takes. Everyone, your voices mean so much in your actions.
Yes.
That is the key, okay? If you just listen and move on, you might as well not listen, okay? You're wasting your time and energy. So take that action. When you see positive results, you're going to say, wow, this is a victory. And I was part of it, and it's a human chain reaction to take action. And the more of us that come together, the better and stronger we become. So keep sharing go and give your Facebook group page and your website so the listeners out there can visit and check it out and how they can help out. And even on X they're on there. So I sent a link to the promo to there. I don't know who the admin is. I haven't looked lately, but anyway, you can always go back after I get these shows. Just press that link that I have, fingers pointing to, and you can go back and listen to it and share 24/7. And the more downloads and listeners are coming in from all over the place, and that's great because I've since been on this Podbean. It's record breaking downloads, and that's something that's after the show, and they go listen to it from all over the United States and out of the country. So I know I'm not spinning my wheels. I'm jumping to the ceiling. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
look at this. So and if you're listening to the shows when they're downloaded, take that action. Put your notepad, write some stuff down. Because that call to action that's going, when you got it going on out there, share it. And I know there's a petition out there, and I'm going to put that after the show, after I edit it and publish it. I'm going to put that one petition on there. Different links to the documentary and your website, Facebook, X, and have it all on there. So that's you can go back and press it through the websites, and all these shows on these other podcasts. They're all listed, even on the app. You could go back and listen to it on the Podbean podcast app. If you're already a follower, there's a list of them, and that is wonderful, amazing. So Yvonne, if you wanted to, I'm going to take some calls if you ladies are ready. And Michelle is in the house. Hey, Michelle. Hey, she just got out of Facebook jail last week. She was in there for a while, so I'm glad to see her out. Right, and Michelle, so glad to see you there. Just slow down because I had to slow down sharing, and anybody out there that's sharing, so you don't end up in Facebook jail. Okay, but hello, Michelle and Darla. You're right. Has great support team, and that is a fact. And keep going. But if anybody wants to talk to Marilyn Glazer or if you want to talk to Marianne Holm, you're more than welcome to come on board. Okay, and I wanted and all these new the ones that coming into the chat room, welcome aboard. Okay, and keep coming back. Okay, here comes Darla. Hey, Darla, how are you? Darla, can you hear me? Darla, I'm having problems with the audio. Send it through again. I'll see what's going on. The invite. Okay, you're on. It says you're on speaker now. Go ahead. You're live. Go ahead. J Lo entered the. Hey, welcome aboard, J Lo. Entered the live studio. All of you, welcome aboard. This is wonderful. I love having all these. Here we go. Yvonne, you are live and on the air. Can you hear me?
You doing, Debbie?
Hey, how's it going? I'd love to see you in here. And you're in the UK, so it's late there. What time is it there? Like,
It's just gone. It's just gone midnight, and it's very dark and rainy.
oh yeah, I've had several guests from the UK.
See, we
Pet
don't get
Parton.
nice, pretty snow like you all. We just get like doom and gloom rain.
Yeah, I changed the time for them because it's more comfortable. But I had Pet Parton on. If they're from the UK, right? Spencer
Absolutely.
Hodges is from the UK. Rebound Dog. There's several of them. It's wonderful. Yep, but
Oh, it's-
welcome aboard. But go
thank
ahead. Do you
you.
have any comments or questions for Marilyn or Marianne? Go right
I,
ahead.
I, I just wondered if, I mean, obviously you haven't seen the film yet, being in the UK, but I just wondered if the film does tell the audience how much evidence there is that Lucy is safe to travel.
How
So,
far is she? Oh, yeah, go ahead.
sorry, can you hear me? So I just
Yes.
wondered if the film does actually give people the facts that Lucy is safe to travel and why. Because the worst thing in the world is people thinking that Lucy can't travel. and believing, the PR narrative from the zoo. But we know that there is just a bucket load of evidence that Lucy is safe to travel, and we could, give them countless examples of other elephants, more sick, older, that safely travel to sanctuaries. But when you're trying to when you've got the people in front that are basically taking pictures of Lucy every day, wounded with her open wounds and lame, and they're thinking nothing's wrong, I just wondered if the film has addressed that issue, that Lucy is safe to travel, and why.
It does in a roundabout way, and unfortunately, we weren't able to get the consultants who had stated that Lucy could be safely moved to be part of the film. But it does discuss that, and it also shows some of the elephants in sanctuary and talks about their transport getting there. So it does, but maybe not as much as I hoped it would. It talks more about the poor conditions and why elephants need to get out. But it does in a roundabout way. I think people, after watching the film, recognize that this elephant can be moved. And, I just want to say we can't moving her to sanctuary now is not going to erase the years of damage that has been inflicted upon her. So we don't know what the future would hold. But I always say that, 6 months and a year of being truly a free elephant and being able to be an elephant I could die a happy woman if I knew at least she got a chance to experience that before she goes. One other thing I want to mention, and then I'll shut up, is YouTube. If you guys who are listening don't quite understand or can't appreciate the way Lucy lives, if you go to YouTube and you search Leap Edmonton, there are numerous videos that you will find depressing to see, but also show our advocacy for Lucy. And that just gets a chance for you to see, what we're talking about here. And then I'm going to stop now. And thanks again, Yvonne, for your help and your comment.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Yvonne. Come on at any time. If you want to stay up this late and listen in, you're more than welcome.
It's school holidays. It's a rare treat for me to be up this late.
See, all these great guests. I mean, I'm so blessed and thankful for all of you. It's just amazing. I love it. So keep it up. Because Yvonne was a guest on the show. I don't know which number because it's 504 shows now
A long
tonight.
time ago.
Over 11 years ago. You could tell I'm not giving it up. I know Blog Talk Radio shut down, but I wasn't. So I had to get in high gear and get another one. And this is that door closed and a better one open. Isn't that amazing?
It is.
Thank you, Podbean.
I'm very grateful that, what L.E.A.P does, what Marianne does. I mean, she's so clever the way she holds that zoo to account, and nothing gets past her. And, thank God Lucy has got, Marianne and everybody over there. And you know what? Even though the whole thing, what's happened to Lucy, is sickening, and I don't know how people could even look at Lucy and take a picture of her open wounds. Organisations like L.E.A.P teach us about elephants.
Yes.
And perhaps there are other organisations that teach people about panda bears, and there are, and kangaroos or giraffes or whatever you like. But I would never know anything about elephants had it not been for Marianne and L.E.A.P and Lucy and L.E.A.P, and all the people that Marianne and L.E.A.P have brought together. I mean, it's the best of the best. So it's a wider thing that they do than just send letters. And it's really interesting, and to see the work of L.E.A.P, is just awe-inspiring. Even in the UK, we have so many documentaries about her, and people have got to know that the world's best say how badly Lucy is treated, and have spoken up for her. So yeah, there's a lot of gratitude there.
That's right. It
I'm going to
is.
interject one more time,
Go ahead
because I
anytime.
see because Darla wasn't able to connect, but she did mention the new Canadian captivity bill. And I do want to share that Canada was the first country in the world to enact legislation that's before our parliament right now that would ban the future captivity of elephants and great apes in Canada, which is incredible. The downside to that is existing elephants like Lucy are grandfathered under the old system. So even though that's an amazing thing that there's a new bill that there will be no more Lucys, it's sad to think that Lucy may end up being a martyr for that cause. But it is a positive thing, just like Canada also has an orca ban. So there will be no orcas or dolphins captured and placed in seaquariums anymore. So, the government of Canada is starting to get it. It's just, unfortunately, this new bill won't help Lucy. But at least it educates the public on how wrong elephant captivity is, and great apes as well. There's three species that do the worst in captive environments, and that's elephants, primates, and orcas. So those are important pieces of legislation. I just wish that they would help Lucy. So thanks
I
for
know.
reminding me about that, Darla.
Mm. And Darla, if you're having audio problems, if you have some earbuds and a mic for your phone or a laptop or whatever, you could try that. Okay, I know I'm on an iPad with the headphones and a mic, and it's coming through clear. But I can go with my mic on my iPad. So any of you that's out there listening from the app, you can use your earbuds and with a mic, or you could use your mic on any of them, or you could use headphones with a mic. And I got mine pretty cheap from Amazon. Okay, so both sets because I got it downloaded to my iPhone and the iPad. So either one I could use. I like to see the chat room, to see what's going on and communicate, and you can interact. I love this chat room. And welcome aboard, Dennison. He's in the house. This is great. And Darla, you could try again because I know you're a big supporter and everything. Try your laptop. If it's downloaded, the Podbean podcast app. Just press the icon and then go to the live link and press it, and it's going to show my show going live along with the other ones. So kind of scroll down because I don't think it's on the top. Okay, and the ones just listening from the web, I thank you all for tuning in. And you can join us here in the chat room. Follow me on the app and also on the web, and get involved and help us out because voices do carry for animals if there is enough of us. Okay, if not, we're going to be spinning our wheels. Okay, so remember that because the more we come together and take that action, the better and faster the change. And it does take a village. Okay, it's not no small group of people or anything. It's share, share, share on any social media, because I see more likes on social media or loves or whatever than I do shares. So if we switch that around and get them in the news feed, we're on a roll. I know if you've ever seen that before, but that's when we're doing it, because that news feed's where it gets out to other ones. Maybe two, three will ignore it, and then you got maybe three or four more that might share it. I've seen that happen. And hashtag retire Lucy. Thank you, Marilyn. And visit their website because it's so important. You know, because of www.leapforlucy.com. And on Facebook, their group. Ask to join, get in there and see how you can help, or the X page that they have. Follow, and 'cause there's so many ways how you can get involved here, and that takes teamwork all the way, right? All the way. And if anybody, Yvonne, I can't thank you enough for calling in. And here, I'm gonna try Darla again. Okay, Darla. Let me see if
Can
it
you
says
hear
you.
me?
Hey, you got in. All right.
Yes, thank you, Jesus.
I was trying to get you in here because I miss your voice on here. But go ahead. Thank you. All right. This is great.
Anyway, I just wanted to thank I just want to thank everybody for working for Scannic, aka Lucy. I have been trying for quite a while, but my time for doing it does not compare to anybody else. So thank you, Marilyn, Yvonne, Debbie, Mary, every single person out there fighting for her. We are not giving up. The captivity bill is a huge step, but I'm already all over X trying to promote it to Andrew Knack, and I know that we can get her out.
Yeah, we can't give up. We have to
Not
be
giving up.
relentless, proactive, and optimistic. Stay strong, everyone. Don't give up. If you need a break, take a break, but you'll get stronger and come back in. Spread the word out there. That teamwork rocks and teamwork wins. Quitters never win and winners never quit. So remember that. That is
I
so
also wear
important.
I also always wear my bracelets when I can when I'm not working for Retire Lucy, and it gets people really going like, who is Lucy? Who is this? Who is that? It opens up the door. So any kind of idea, any kind of I wear my shirt when I can. It's a little bit cold now, but any exposure you can do for that, it really does. People don't even know who's Lucy, who's this, who's a an elephant freezing in Canada. Are you kidding me? I get that all the time.
Mm. Yep, and it's what Marion below 30 degrees up in Canada gets to, and that is freezing. I mean that is, and here in the states up north and everything. And make sure everyone, if you there's people that leave their pets out here in this, not in Florida, but up in the northern states where it gets cold and there's heavy snow and ice. So if you see a pet, a dog out there, hey, report it, because if they're cold, if we're cold, they're cold, So I can just imagine what Lucy's going through up there with that all that cold weather and that
She's an Asian
arthritis.
elephant. She's an Asian
Mm,
elephant. She has no. She should have never been taken to Canada.
no,
And that's
no.
minus 30, Debbie. That's
Whoa.
Celsius. But between Celsius and Fahrenheit, we get to be pretty close when we're getting that cold. So if you think about that temperature in Fahrenheit, it's they almost match when we get to that cold weather. So that is disgusting. Lucy's a subtropical animal and was not designed to live in this climate. She doesn't have a fur coat. And speaking of coats, many people came together many years ago, and one of our first actions as LEAP was to deliver a custom made insulated coat for Lucy, and the zoo discarded it. They didn't put it on her. They claimed that she doesn't like to wear anything, and not once has anyone ever seen that coat on her. And it was disgusting, and it was an act that we did in good faith. We brought gifts for the zookeepers. We wrapped up, it was Valentine's Day of 2015. We wrapped up the coat and gave a card and treats for the keepers as a show of good faith, only to have them say she doesn't need it. They claim that they donated it to a sanctuary, and they lie because we are in touch with all sanctuaries, and we would have heard if that coat ever made it anywhere. But no, they won't put it on her. The other thing that they do, elephants need to swim, and I didn't bring that up earlier. Elephants, I've watched them in the wild and in sanctuaries, and it's hard to keep them out of the water. They were built with a built-in snorkel. They're designed to swim, and they love it, and it's important for their well-being. And we have pushed so hard to try and get a pool for Lucy. That would be therapeutic. It would take pressure off of her joints, off of her diseased feet. And the zoo keeps telling me, even a few months ago, they're working on plans. Well, they've been working on plans for the last. I remember one of their experts recommended it in 2018. So those are pretty long working plans. You could build two skyscrapers in that time, but we'll never see Lucy in a pool. And then they'll come back with Lucy doesn't like the water. Lucy doesn't like to swim. Well, how the hell would they know whether she likes, sorry for my language,
That's all
but how
right.
would they know that she doesn't like to swim because she hasn't had a chance to since she was a baby?
Didn't she
Yeah,
originally have a pool?
Yeah, we found some old footage or an old journal article that showed Lucy actually in a pool um, many years ago when she was young. But that was before my time, and I certainly never laid eyes on it. But we believe that she did have a pool. But I don't think when they say Lucy doesn't like water, I don't think that's what that's based on. I don't believe really anything that they say. And I don't know how long she had that pool and whether that was just for a photo op or whether it was a pool she had access to regularly. That I don't know and probably never will know. But yeah, it was many years ago. And it would be, if Lucy didn't like water, I would have to say she'd be the only elephant on Earth that didn't. If they want us to believe what they're saying is true.
yep.
I don't believe the words Zeus say.
Isn't that sad? And everyone, I wanted to give a shout out to Empress Elephant Cathedra. They're in the house in the chat room. Welcome aboard. I don't know if sure if it's Bruce, but hello and thanks for joining us this evening. This is wonderful. You know, super team coming on board. I got a super team going on. You know, and I love it. It keeps me going. You know, I could go down and get frustrated and this and that, but they always keep me up, and that's the key. Keep us going, and everyone keep liking the show. You can share this podcast to other social media sites at the top right hand corner where the arrow is. You can share it, keep liking it because it makes my show keep moving up the ladder. You know, I mean it's 8 months old and it's going on 9 next month, but we're going to keep it going. We're not going to give up because they all need our help from some angle out there. You know, hey, you're so welcome there. This is great. I got positivity. You know that? Empress Elephant Cathedral? I do. I bring in positivity. You got to bring the negative into the positive, and it can be done. But it doesn't have, change does not happen on its own. We have to get involved and dedicated and stay in there. You know, so
So
yes.
Bruce, if that's you, I'd like to give a shout out to Bruce. He also is a big supporter of Leap and Lucy. And he mentioned, if it is him, I know he's got another few admins, but he mentioned mud in his comments. And he's right. That's another thing. Elephants need mud baths. They need a mud wallow. It's so natural for their normal behaviors. And in the wild and in sanctuaries, they cover themselves with mud because it helps their skin, it prevents them from getting bug bites, and it's just generally good for them, and they love it. They love to just splash mud on their back. And I'll tell you a little sad story once of filming Lucy. Someone had filmed her at the back and she was standing in a gravel pit next to a picnic table with her keepers, and she picked up a pile of rocks, which is just her natural behavior, and threw it on her back like she would do if she had a pile of mud. And so all these rocks are flying all over the place. And it was heartbreaking, but I have to admit, I had to have a little giggle because the rocks were hitting her zookeepers. And I don't mean to sound like a terrible person, but it just shows that she still has that natural instinct to want to dust herself. And they will do that with dirt and they will do that with mud. And it was just sad to see that all Lucy had was a pile of rocks to do that with. But we've talked to the zoo about getting her a proper mud wallow. And so one time they were so happy to show a video of Lucy in her supposed mud wallow. And what it was a pile of topsoil, some black dirt that was a very small pile. And then they sprayed it with a hose. And they figured that that was, they were heroes for doing that. And that's not what we're talking about. If you look at Elephant Nature Park, or elephants in the wild. These are massive mud wallows that they can roll around in and play, 20 elephants at a time, not a little pile of dirt standing in the middle of a barren yard like Lucy had.
Yeah. We gotta see her get out. We have to see her get out. It's long overdue, isn't it? And we're going to be closing down here in a minute, you guys. Does anybody want to speak to the guest? You can speak to Marianne Holm, or you can speak to Marilyn Gleason, and you're more than welcome to. Okay, just try to have no noises in the background, conversations, radio, TVs, and you're more than welcome to come on board because I'm going to be closing down. What another great show, ladies! I mean, it is. Wow, I'm so glad we're so all connected, and keep coming on and giving put them in the spotlight. Hey, this needs help and everything. So, but Mama Cat, did you want to come on? Are you out there? I know she's roaming out. She's a former guest. She takes care of colonies, 90 cats, and she's out in Colorado where it gets real cold, and she keeps them warm with food and water, and they give her a standing ovation. But Mama Cat, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, there you are. Tell your hubby George I said hello. We'll give him a shout out, okay? And Skyler.
He just walked in the door. He heard you.
Hi, George. How are you? Thanks for always tuning in. That's Mama Cat's husband. Thank you so much. Yep, that's teamwork, isn't it? But go
It
ahead, Mama
is.
Cat.
I just wanted to say hi to Marianne and thank her for all her hard work. Lucy's lucky to have the team that she's got with all the people standing up for her. I just wish somebody over there in Canada would listen.
I know.
And
Maybe
maybe
well.
with this new mayor, I've got my fingers crossed and my toes crossed and everything, maybe this guy will help us get her out of there and get her to sanctuary.
Yep. You know what, Mama Cat? I found no power in crossing your fingers and toes, only prayers, because I know I've seen them happen,
I got those going too. Yep.
Keep the prayers coming, Cause
When I saw that bill for the great apes and the elephants, I was so excited. I thought, automatically that would mean that Lucy was getting out of there. But now I hear that she's being grandfathered into, you know, staying in her dungeon of hell. Um, I'm
yep,
bummed out.
yep.
I
So
really thought that was it. But, but
We
we'll
tried
just have
so
to keep
hard
up the hard
to
work.
we
keep it
tried
up.
so hard to lobby the federal government when they were creating the bill to change the wording so that it would have some impact on Lucy. But to no avail. We did not succeed. There was a number of zoo people that also spoke out, and I guess they decided to listen to them and not
What
us.
does what does Edmonton Zoo have over the local government there? There's got to be something else going on because
Well, I think part of the issue we struggle with is that it's a city-owned zoo. So, when we talk to counselors or we talk to, management of the city, the Edmonton Valley Zoo staff, including the zoo director and the zookeepers, are their staff. So they seem to feel a protective nature to the staff that are their staff. So, are they going to believe in their mind a crazy animal activist, or are we going to trust what our staff tell us? And unfortunately, despite our best efforts, they seem to really trust not everything, but they have been brainwashed into believing that Lucy would be at risk if she was moved. And I know that none of the counselors want that on their conscience should something happen to Lucy if she was transported. And as hard as we've tried, I believe that's the underlying issue that they all believe. And the zoo has done a good job in selling that and brainwashing people into believing that. And if you look at Lucy, when they call her a geriatric elephant, you believe it, even though she's not a geriatric elephant. She looks like one, she moves like one because of her captivity related conditions. And so that just helps them believe what the zoo is saying. But she would look like a completely different elephant given the opportunity to be in an appropriate environment. But they won't take that chance and they are fearful that what the zoo is telling them is true. And they don't appreciate how deceptive zoos are. And they're there protecting their own butts, their own jobs, their own livelihoods. And that's much more important to them than protecting the animals that are in their care. And it's frustrating. But that seems to be what they have over them. If it was a private facility, I think we'd be able to get a lot further. Um, and I think that's perhaps why Nosy was able to be rescued because it was one family that owned the zoo, not an entire city. So we have, over 1 million people here in Edmonton. And we did a poll recently of citizens and found that 67% agreed with us and would like to see Lucy move to sanctuary. But that means there's still 350,000 people that think she shouldn't go. So it's a bigger fight when you've got a whole city versus a private entity, um, like what Nosy had, where she was. And I can't even think of the name of the zoo or circus, I guess, that she was involved in. But yeah, and the other thing is that circuses are more well known for causing suffering
Right.
and inflicting pain on these animals. Zoos
Oh,
are still thought of fairly highly by a good percentage of the population, unfortunately. So that's another battle.
Has there ever been like a lawsuit against made against the entire city for animal cruelty or animal neglect to maybe try and go that route?
Yes, actually, there was two lawsuits. One of them was against the city of Edmonton for causing Lucy's distress. And there are actual violations to the Alberta Zoo standards. Alberta is our province. And there's also the Animal Protection Act, which states that no animal shall be caused to be in distress. So experts gave affidavits to verify that they felt Lucy was in distress, and that went to court. And what ended up happening is the evidence wasn't even heard because the judges that were listening to the case said that the group that brought the lawsuit forward didn't have legal standing, that they didn't, in other words, have any rights to speak about Lucy because they were an animal welfare group and they weren't based out of Edmonton. And then they tried another lawsuit, this time against the province of Alberta for violating our Alberta zoo standards. And they do violate the standards. And again, same judge, unfortunately, was assigned to that lawsuit. And he again threw it out, stating that the group didn't have legal standing. So the problem is
mm.
the laws are weak. They don't have enough teeth. So when you bring a lawsuit forward, um, there's just not standing Oh, my phone's ringing here.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was an elephant call, wasn't
was that?
it?
Well, you know, my
That was
ringtone
cute.
is my phone ringtone is elephants trumpeting, and I get in quite a
That
few. I can
is.
be on an elevator and my phone will start to ring, and all these people look around wondering where the hell the elephant trumpeting is coming from. It's all elephants all day, every day here,
That
Debbie.
is so. That's adorable.
That's funny. It's also my alarm.
It's your alarm.
My phone alarm to
I
get me
love
up is
it.
elephant trumpeting. I guess I'm just hoping one day I can hear Lucy trumpeting because I've
Oh
never
my.
heard it.
Yep. Oh. But anyway, everyone, I'm going to be closing down here. But I want to thank you so much, Mary Ann, for coming back on. You're always welcome back. Hope we hear some great news soon. You know, and Marilyn Glazer, thank you for joining us this evening too. And Yvonne Hooper, this has been another great show. And Darla, and all of you, and Barbara, I'll get with you on how to connect. I'll be calling you or something because I know you're having problems. But we got Darlin, so that's a plus, you know. And anyway, want to give a shout out to my mother, Pat Dahmer. She's tuning in, aka Marvelous Moose. She don't look like a moose, but another name for Mom. I love you, Mom. You're a beautiful woman inside and out. And aloha, thank you for tuning in with us. And Mama Cat, thank you for all your ongoing support. This is wonderful. And Bruce, thank you for tuning in from Empress Elephants Cathedral. This has been a wonderful show. I mean, another wonderful show. I love it. But anyway, I hope you all enjoy this next week. We got I think four more shows left after this evening for the year. But next week we'll be having Katrina Shaddix. She's the executive director of Bear Wars United, and we're going to be discussing this um, down here with this bear hunt that's starting in December for 3 weeks. Black bear hunt.
Uh,
There has been a lawsuit filed, and we're trying to get it stopped, okay? Because it did pass through the FWC, and it was totally unfair vote because most of them were developers and hunters. Now, the Bears didn't have a chance, okay? But here in Florida, if you're tuning in to see me, please join us next week because we need as much support as we can. I know there's on November 17th is going to be a rally at the Tallahassee State Capitol. Okay, I didn't have the time in front of me, but I'm going to be passing it around. If you can follow me on Facebook under my name, Debbie Dahmer, Dahmer, or Voices Carry for Animals podcast on Facebook, or Voices Carry for Animals support group on Facebook, okay, or Animal Advocates United on Facebook group. Okay, so we need to stop that hunt because it's terrible. Where you're allowed up to 6 dogs to attack and kill bears. This is animal cruelty front lines. And this is so wrong. Hey, Merry Christmas, black bears. We're going to kill a lot of you. It's so wrong. They're not bothering anybody. They have a right to be here just like we do. Share this earth together temporarily and
hey,
make the
Debbie,
best of it. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to mention to you earlier, I forgot. I was reading an article earlier today that the bear hunt in Wisconsin has been closed down.
It
Over
has.
2,300 bears this year were slaughtered.
What?
Yeah, in their hunt.
Whoa. Whoa. 2,300?
That's the number I believe that I read. I
Oh,
mean, that's crazy,
isn't it? Oh, that is
and they have it every
insane.
year. They have it every year.
Whoa. I know that New Jersey was trying to stop theirs again. I was signed a petition for that. But this is, it's terrible, what's going on. Give these, give them their animal rights, not violate them. They have the right to live on this earth and share it with us,
Yeah,
you
I just
know?
wanted to mention that, that Wisconsin is pretty bad with the bear hunt.
Whoa.
And they're not shutting it down. They closed it
Mm.
for the year because they reached whatever
The
DNR quota or whatever. I'm not sure, but
oh, 2,300 of them. Oh
yeah.
my goodness.
If that
Seems like
number's wrong, I'll get back to you and let you know. But it
yeah,
really, it just broke my heart thinking about it,
yeah.
you know?
Oh my goodness. Whoa, that is sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, but anyway, every Thursday, everyone is 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Mountain, and 4 o'clock Pacific, and listening worldwide. All shows are recorded live stream, and archive. Listen and share 24/7. Voices carry for animals.podbean.com, and if you hook up on the app, all of them are listed on theirs too. Okay, free download on Google Play or the App Store, and then you're going to follow Voices Carry for Animals podcast, and you're in. Okay, or you could go to the web. Uh, Voices Carry for Animals.podbean.com and go up the upper right hand corner and sign in. And then what you're going to do is create an account, and then you'll need your full name or nickname, and then your email address and a password. Click that you're not a robot, and then you create an account and you're in there. And it's a host website, So, but anyway, we're going to close down. I hope everyone has a wonderful and peaceful evening. And thank you all for tuning in from the web and the app and the chat room. This is just great. It's so inspiring and uplifting to have all your support. So and all the new ones is coming in. We're getting ready to close down here, but join us, every Thursday at 7 o'clock, and spread the word. Follow the host. You can share the shows right from this chat room or even on the web. Okay, so but I'll be getting it published or downloaded, and then I'm going to edit it and then publish it. And I'll send Marianne and all of you. You'll get the new link with all the web links and the documentary link and all that. Okay, but I can't thank you all enough, Marianne. Keep it up. I'm proud of you. You know, have a okay. And Mama Cat, are you ready? Go
I
ahead.
am ready.
All
Trunk in
right.
hand, united we stand against all animal neglect and cruelty across the land. Good night, everybody. God bless. Have a great evening.
Yes, and thank you
Thanks for
all. And I
tuning in.
yes, and make sure or tomorrow is Halloween, so please protect your cat or your cats and dogs. Don't let them outside because there are some nut jobs out there. They don't need to go outside, okay?
Yep.
And so please protect them, and because you never know, but just prevention, okay? And be safe. And if you have children, make sure they're safe. Protect them, okay? So, but thank you all for tuning in, and may God bless you all, okay? And another great show. Bye bye.
See you next week.
See you next week. Tune in. Thank you all for tuning in to live stream on Podbean Podcast Ebb and Web. Hope you enjoyed the show. With our voices, the animals will be heard. With our actions, the animals will seek justice. Good night, everyone, and may God bless you all. Thanks for another great show.